Hello everyone, welcome to my course Introduction to Market Structure. Mainly market means it's a place of exchange of goods and services between buyers and sellers, like mandi, where the buyers and sellers meet to exchange goods. Amazon, Flipkart, they are matching platform where the buyers put up their demand and the supplier or they choose the supplier from which they want to buy their good and the supplier provides them. So buyers are consumers who consume these goods and services to satisfy their want. Sellers are producers who produce these goods and services which are demanded by these buyers or the consumers. And the exchange between these two types of agents, that is buyers and producers, takes place at a price. So we study how price is determined in a market. In this course, our objective is to study this price, how it is determined. Now, price of any good is determined based on the interaction between the buyers and the sellers, right? Now, this interaction is mainly analysis of the decision made by these two types of agents. So, in this course, in a way, we will study the decision made by the consumers and the decision made by the farms or the producers. And what we will do, we will take different setups, different environments you can say, and under which these decisions will be taken. Okay. First, we study how consumers take their decision. That is, how much amount of goods and services they want to buy if they face any price and if they have a fixed income. Okay. So we do that in the consumer behavior. That is our first module. And the firms, while producing output, they need to employ inputs like land, labor, capital, that is machine, and so they incur cost in hiring these inputs. So that will give us something called the cost function, and so we will derive the cost function in this second module, where we will study how the firms takes decisions regarding the inputs that they are going to employ. So first, these two are going to be the first two modules, and the next two modules are going to be on a specific form of market structure. First, it is the competitive market, and the second is the monopoly market. In a competitive market, we assume that there are many sellers or many producers, so none of them can determine the price. So price is completely given independent of their decision. So price is determined in the something called in the market, where supply is equal to demand. We will do these things in detail, and then at that time you will come to know how do we get a supply curve, how do we get a demand curve. Okay. Next topic is the monopoly. In a monopoly, we have only one producer. Now this one producer, so everyone who wants to buy this good or service, they have to buy it from this producer only or this farm only. So in that case, the firm or the monopolist can determine the price. So it can charge a very high price or it may charge a low price depending on the nature of demand or the objective of the firm. So in these two form of market, we do not have any strategic interaction. So next we study strategic interaction. Now what do we mean by strategic interaction? Strategic interaction means that if I take a decision, I have an opponent and I always consider how my opponent is going to react to my decision. So to study these kind of things, we use game theory and we use the tools from game theory and specifically the non-cooperative games. Okay? And we will study a little bit of game theory in the next module. and we will only study complete information games, both static and extensive games. Now in games, generally what happens, we have some players and the players behave in a specific way, they take decisions in a specific way, and while taking the decision they always consider how the opponents are going to take the decision. Like for example chess. In chess we have two players, one who is using the black A and another is the white one, and they move alternatively, and while each one making a decision to make a move, they always consider how the other one is going to react to it. And so we use mainly this kind of methodology to study the next other forms of market. And we use some solution concept to study these games, specifically Nash equilibrium and subgame perfect Nash equilibrium for extensive games. So we will do this in a separate module. And next, using these tools we will study market forms like Kuno competition, Batra competition and Stackelberg competition. In Kuno competition, firms decide how much amount of output to produce. While deciding that, they take the output of the other firm as given. Then they see that if they react in this way, how the other firm is going to react, and based on that they take the decision. Okay? And here firms mainly decides on the output, and the market price is given from the market demand curve, where when each quantity is already given. Next form that we are going to study is Batra competition. In Batra competition, firms decides the price. Now, if suppose there are two firms, firm 1 and firm 2, and they produce a homogeneous good. Homogeneous good means that a buyer is indifferent between buying from firm 1 and firm 2. It gets the same type of good. Okay. Now, if firm 1 sets a price, firm 2 will decide whether to set the price a little bit higher or little bit lower. And while firm 1 taking this decision, it will definitely see how firm 2 is going to react. And so, there is going to be a competition in setting this price. So, we study this kind of market in this kind of competition in Batra competition. Next, in Stackelberg competition, we actually change the way decisions are made by the firm. In above two markets like Kuno and Batra, the decisions are taken simultaneously. But in this form of market, that is Stackelberg, decisions are taken sequentially. Like firm 1 moves first, decides first on the quantity, and then firm 2 decides on the amount of quantity it is going to produce. Or first firm 1 decides on the price, after observing that then firm 2 decides how much amount of price to set. So this is going to be Stackelberg competition, and we will study it. Next, we will study some other form of strategic interaction among the firms. So first is the product differentiation. What do we mean by product differentiation? Product differentiation means that the firms try to differentiate their product. They do not try to produce a homogeneous product. So if there are suppose two firms, firm 1 and firm 2, they will produce goods like firm 1's output is not completely substitute of the firm 2. So you can think in terms of different attributes that these goods have. They will be differentiated in that term. Second, in this part is the entry deterrence that we are going to study. Entry deterrence is that suppose there already exists a firm and a new firm wants to enter this firm market. Now whether the existing firm will allow this to happen. So they may react in such a way that there may not be any incentive for this new firm to enter this market. So under what condition we can get this kind of situations. So we will study this. So this is also very important for studying like antitrust policies. Especially a firm may be deterring entry of new firms and trying to reap more profit. Okay, and so that's why the competition is not there in a market. So that's why entry deterrence is quite important. Next, we are going to study the way the firm sell their product. Like they want to bundle it, like you will get this product only in specific quantity, or you can get these goods as whatever amount you want to, like they are completely divisible. Like when you are buying, suppose, rice, so you can buy it in half kilo, like 1 kilo or 5 kilos or 10 kilos. Instead, if we suppose bundle it, like it is only available in 5 kilos, 10 kilos and 25 kilos. So this, whether the firm should use this kind of strategy or method, or they should allow it whatever amount the consumer want, they should be provided, or it is predetermined and fixed, available in only specific quantities. And another thing that we are going to study is the tying. In tying, what do we do? Suppose a firm is selling, suppose, a product, a good, and if you buy that good from that firm, then you also get some other good from it. Like if you buy, suppose, a trouser, then you also get a shirt along it. Or if you buy shoes, you also get a socks along with it. Or if you buy, suppose, laptop, you get a mouse along with it. So this is like tying. Now if one firm does this, follow this strategy, whether the other firm is also going to follow the strategy or it is going to follow some other strategy. So we are going to study these kind of things in this section, that is the tying. And in bundling we will see in what quantity. And one portion of the bundling we will also study in monopoly, where we will study price discrimination in monopoly, and in that thing, in the first degree and second degree, it is related to a form of bundling. Okay, so this is going to be the structure of this course, and I hope you are going to enjoy this year. Okay, thank you very much.